In January of 2011, things really changed for people wanting to come to Michigan to shoot movies. That's when Governor Rick Snyder dropped the clapboard on the tax incentives. Well, we went out to Margarine Wars, a movie that was being shot here recently, to find out what the people think, not only in California, but the workers who are employed here in Michigan in the movie industry. No rumors, no innuendos. Let's find out what the people really had to say. During the spring of 2010, Tara and I traveled just north of the village of Romeo out to Coon Creek Road for the filming of Margarine Wars. This independent movie is being filmed, and it has Doris Roberts, a three-time Emmy Award winner, and you might remember her best for her role as Raymond's mother in Everybody Loves Raymond. We had a chance to talk with her, and she told us that she enjoyed her time in Michigan, even though the weather was quite rainy. She tried to stay on the sunny side.
I'm here in Michigan doing a movie called The Margarine Wars, and I'm having a grand time. I would like to sun more often, and it's out today, and it's a glorious day. So if Michigan is like this most of the time, I'd like to stay.
We had a chance to get behind the scenes because of the generosity of producer David Rich. Here is his story and some of the other hard workers who make up Margarine Wars.
Well, I originally came out here in September looking for locations, and I was talking to Maria Zardis, who happens to be the film coordinator for Macomb, and she brought me out here, and it was absolutely gorgeous. It's exactly what we're looking for. The farm community, it looks like Wisconsin. It had all the aspects we needed, and basically Maria was just great, and everyone, and Terry and Dolores out here at Coon Creek Farm were everyone's been great. They let us use their facility, wreck it with all our cars. As you can see, we have tons of cars on their grass. So yeah, that's why. And the city of Armada and Richmond have been fantastic with us. So, you know, we had a lot of support from companies like Better Made, Ackett's Pies, really good stuff. I really like their pies. Banana cream is one of my favorites. Hint, hint. And Fago soft drinks. We had Fuse provided us products. So there's a lot of factors. People, I mean, Terry didn't even want to charge us to use this facility, or Terry and Dolores. They used to be a great family entertainment center, but they just wanted us to come in. And we got that kind of reception everywhere. We filmed at the Odd, which is in Richmond, an after-school program for kids who, you know, a place for them to go. We've used Chap's Food and Ken's Country Kitchen and on and on. So if you take into account everybody who's working on it and what the equivalent value, you know, it's hard to say. But it, you know, it's, to me, I'll take away from this how great everyone was to work with. I mean, everybody here has been fantastic. I created the story. I'm one of the three writers. There's also Scott Walker and Joe Holt, and we're friends, and so we sat down and did it. But long story short, I was in a doctor's office getting some treatment. I was talking to one of the other people there, and they said, you know, you really should do a movie about margarine being illegal. Well, I've done stand-up comedy, and my mind was saying, come on, you're kidding me. Margarine being illegal? Did the research, found out it really was illegal in Wisconsin. It was a felony to buy, sell, or distribute margarine. So someone's got to do a movie out of it. Basically, I started thinking about it, and it's less than a year to the time it's in the, as we call it, in the can. And then we plan on having the world premiere here in Macomb County.
Very cool.
I figured we owed it to the people of Macomb and Michigan to showcase the fact that we filmed, Arizona filmmakers made a film in Michigan, made with Michigan talent. A lot of our cast and crew are from here. Story about basically a Howard Schmear, the Afro Jew from New York, who really had no family ties, and he learns how important family and community is at the end of the movie. So it really is a comedy, but a romantic comedy too. It's a chick flick, as I'd like to say. We're about 99% crewed up from Michigan. I think actually, yeah, 99% Michigan based. All our equipment, hotels, food, everything is based here. We rented the cars here. We did the catering is all Michigan. We're doing our post-productions at Kinetic Post here in Michigan. So we're doing like 95% of all the work here in Michigan. There was a gentleman named Avi Lerner. He's the CEO of New Image Films, which is Millennium. And we were at a seminar about a year ago, and they said, the secret to independent filmmaking is one word, and it was Michigan. And then he went in and said, there's 40 and 42% tax credit there, it's cash, et cetera, and everyone, people in California wanted to move here because there was jobs and it was growing and booming. And then January occurred and rumbling started, and thank God we were approved before this, but if you don't incentivize filmmakers, and there are other states with incentives, they're not going to come. If I can get 25–30% tax credit in Louisiana or Georgia or I shouldn't say the word Wisconsin, then we're gonna go there, because part of getting our film funded is to get some of that money back. Meanwhile, we're paying people here a salary. They're going out and buying goods, and the part that you can't measure is their self-esteem. They're working. How do you measure someone's self-esteem? I mean, that's something that you can't quantify that. To be working in a job that you love and getting paid for it. Now, sure, the one thing people don't understand is that I'm spending the money now. I'm spending a lot of money in Michigan now. I won't see any of that money back until the middle of next year, because it has to go to the state. It has to be audited independently and by the state, so it's audited twice. And then I probably see it sometime in May, June, if I'm lucky. So meanwhile, that money is being utilized by the citizens of Michigan to pay their rent, to go out and buy things to spend here in Michigan. And I remember there was a survey done that for every dollar we spend here, $6 is generated. Well, I can't say downside to that, but I know it's a tight budget here, and he's in a rock and a hard place. But at the same time, I understand there are tax cuts that were given to other businesses. Well, movie industry is a business. Why not give us a break? I mean, it was employing people. Detroit 187 pulled out completely. They utilized 100% of the talent here, and all the crew was it. It was being filmed in downtown Michigan, Detroit. They lost that big show. I mean, that was huge. If you go back and find out, how many movies have pulled out because of the tax credit situation, and people are going to other states who want them. There's not a lack of states. Canada is available. You know, if you're not that far from Canada, go across Detroit, you're in Canada, Windsor.
To answer your question, I think the best thing about bringing films to Michigan was the incentives passed a few years ago. For those of us who've been in the business for, I hate to say it, or maybe I'm happy to say it, 40 years, I've been waiting for a chance to do movies in Michigan. I've been fortunate enough to do a lot of television work, but when the movies came to town, it made a whole different game available. So for a movie like Margarine Wars to come in with an independent group out of Arizona with a small budget, it allowed me to work what we like to call a little movie magic here in Michigan and hire almost 70 people. And when I say hire, I mean that, because I don't believe in people working for free. Even those who are learning the business as interns, you may hear the phrase a lot, I still believe they need to be compensated for some time so they understand the value of what they do. So I work real hard to develop budgets that I can make sure that everyone's going to get paid something for their time they're here, plus their expenses are covered. It allows us to then give a complete learning experience to everybody that's on set throughout the whole 3-week process, almost 4 weeks on this movie. It's been great, and we're having a great time, and now the sun's out, so it even makes it better. Michigan May, this is what we've been telling them all about, is this is what May is like in Michigan. We've had a rough couple of weeks, but we're pulling it all together now. It's going great.
In September, these people stopped by and asked us if we would be interested in letting them use our farm, our orchard, as a place to do this film, and we decided to go ahead and do it. We've been retired for 3 years, so it's been fun to have some activity out here on the farm. Been a lot of work, and also gives us a good insight of what's behind doing a film like this. We've met a lot of nice people from all over the country. What do you say about it, Dee?
It has been fun. It's like we're open for business again.
Actually, I performed in Flint, Michigan. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I performed at UM Flint, and I had a great time. But since I've been here, yeah, weather sucks, but the people here are super nice. Everybody's like, it has a southern feel to it. I'm originally from South Carolina. It has a southern feel to it, but I've been having a great time.
How did you get into acting?
Being a stand-up comedian is kind of like the next step in my career. You know, I've traveled, I've done, you know, Last Comic Standing, Bill Bellamy's Who's Got Jokes. I've done a lot of stand-up, but this is like the next phase of my career, and you know, this is my first lead role, so I'm very excited about it. I'm having a great time. I say go to school for it, or just study under somebody who's really dope that you admire, and just learn the craft, and that's what makes you necessary during these economic times where there's almost like no such thing as job security anymore. Find a craft, find something that you specialize in, and just be great at it until you're necessary. You know, like me being stand-up, I've noticed since the economy's been bad, like my career's kind of taken off because people still need to laugh even though, you know, the economy's going down, you know? So that's what I do.
Actually, I had a friend of mine, his name's Lakos, and he plays George Helmsman. He's the diner owner in the movie, and he called me up one day and said, hey, can I use your parents' address, because I'm originally from Livonia, and they want to hire me in this movie as a local hire. And I said, sure. And I said, man, I'd love to do a movie in Michigan before there are no movies in Michigan. And he said, well, let me see what I can do. And he called me back 2 days later. He said, we sent them over your reel and your website information, and they called back, and here I am, you know, opposite of Ranji and I are carrying this movie. So I had no idea. I thought it would be something small or something. I've done a lot of television and stuff, but I just wanted an opportunity to come home, hang out with the family, and work. And here I am, 17 days into the shoot. We end tomorrow, so it's been great. You know, it's all over the media in LA, and what they're saying about Michigan has not been very kind. So I think what the governor's doing is hideous, and they have a lot of making up to do to get people to actually come back. I mean, I know there's films lined up over the summer, but after that, I think they really need to turn it around and get that incentive back. It's really sad because this movie proves that there are plenty of competent people here that know how to make a movie and can do it right and efficiently and cost effectively, and you don't need to go to LA to make a film. And Michigan has everything here. You know, with the lakes, with farm country. I mean, I grew up in Livonia, so we had Milford and stuff out in near Kensington and Mayberry, but you know, who'd have thought that this was up here? Actually, I went to New York. I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and I transferred to the LA campus. I studied there for a while. I went to England and studied at Oxford University for a bit, and I came back and joined some theater companies. I work with the Actors Gang, which is Tim Robbins' company, and West Coast Ensemble, and I started doing plays, just getting out there and working, and I got an agent by doing that, and I started doing commercials. I've done many, many commercials, and by doing that, I kind of crossed into television and started doing more film from that. So just kind of a gradual slope, and hopefully the ball will keep rolling because I've been very lucky. I don't have to have a real job, and you know, I'm a real actor.
I was amazed when I came on set to find out how many of these people are Michiganders from all over the state of Michigan supporting their families, and that's never really publicized. They argue about how much money and percentages are being given away, but this business is really, truly putting people to work, and I didn't know that. It's given me a fabulous opportunity here just to be here and see how hard these people are working. And Governor Snyder should maybe be on set and not talk to producers or the stars who are from somewhere else, but talk to the makeup people, the costume people, the people that are really working hard here from Michigan.